In the previous class, in the video, so we have looked at the morphology of the root. That continue with the um, shoot system. That's a morphological study of the shoot or the stem. Generally, the roots are the positive to geotropic and negative to phototropic, but shoot system is positive to phototropic and negative to geotropic. So usually the all plant consist of the shoot system. The stem, mainly the main red portion of the plant, that's the stem portion will be there. So usually they consist developing from the primule of the embryo. The shoot is developed from the primule of the embryo, and usually stem may be sometime woody, hard, or sometime maybe soft. And usually the stem consists of the nodal and the internodal regions, and also the axillary and terminal regions. So like that, the shoot or the stem will be have the some modifications. So based on that stem or modification, there are three type of the stem modification. One is underground stem modification, second one subaerial stem modification, and third one is a aerial stem modification. First go to the first one, that is the underground stem modification. So usually the under example or the types of the underground stem modification, first one is a rhizome. So what is rhizome? So rhizome is a horizontally growing underground brownish colored with the nodes and the internodal stem modification. So at the nodal region, the non-functional leaf will be there. So those are called as a scaly leaves, and adventitious root develop from the nodal region of the lower surface. So those will help for the absorption. So usually the best rhizome is an example, that's a ginger is an best example for the rhizome. So here is nothing but the underground stem is modified for the food storage, and they have a specialized structure. They consist of the node and the internodal region, that is called rhizome. The best example ginger and the turmeric. Next one, tuber. Here what happens, the underground stem, so usually stem is aerial part, but here the stem is in underground portion, and they are swollen and to form a small tuber like structure. The example, potato. The each nodal region, the tuber consist of the axillary bud called as the eyes. These eyes will help for the development of the shoot from the underground stem portion. Okay, the next one is a corm. So it is essentially the large rhizome with the vertical oriented axillary buds, and the adventitious roots are produced at the nodal region. The apical bud give rise to the aerial photosynthetic shoot. So usually the example amorphophilus, just like a it is what actually the bulb like structure, tuber like structure, but it's a larger side structure, and usually it will be underground in portion. The here stem will be completely in underground, and only the leafy shoot will come out from that underground portion. The next one is a bulb. So here the bulb is nothing but the modified shoot, and the leaf are arranged in a concentric manner. They form a specialized bulb like structure. So there are the two types of leaves will be there, one is scaly leaves and another one is a fleshy leaves. So these two types of leaves to form a special bulb like structure underground portion of the stem. So those are called as a bulb. Example, onion and the garlic. Okay, so all this whatever rhizome, corm, bulb, and the tuber, they will meant for the storaging of the food in the underground portion. So all these four are the underground uh, shoot modification or the stem modification. Next one is a subberial. That means it is not completely inside the soil or completely outside the soil. This is a subaerial stem modification. That's a one is runner, and it is a specialized weak and slender stem creeping horizontally on the surface of the soil. So for example, in case of oxalis carniculata, what happens? The stem is very slender. So but the slender stem will attach at a particular nodal regions, and they called as a runners, and only in a nodal region they will have a root system. But each shoot will be connected with nodal region, connected with the special connecting structure called as a runner. Okay, the next one is a stolon. It is a type of subberial modification which branches arising from the axils of the leaves. It tend to grow vertically, but due to the weak nature it fall back on the ground, resulting in a formation of a stolon like structure. For example, mentha, all of you seen mentha plant. So usually what happens, so mentha stem will be very slender, but it will grow to the straight, but again it will come down and get the root, supporting root, and again it will be grow further. So like that, whatever the structures will be help for the vegetative growth, those are called as a stolon. The next one is a sucker. So here this is a type of the aerial underground runner, but here what happens, from the side portions of the aerial shoot, so you usually find a special addition uh, tissue or the vegetative shoot that called as a sucker. Example, chrysanthemum. The next one is a offset. It is also just like resemble the runner, or the it is short and thicker in nature. It is just like a connecting between the two nodal region, especially in case of the aquatic plant. So usually some of the plant will grow in a water habitat. They will have a stem to stem connection between a soft slender parenchyma tissues. So these are called as a offset. Example, pistia eichhornia. So these are the subaerial stem modification. Next one is a aerial stem modifications. So usually the aerial means mainly completely support for the mechanical support or to overcome the desiccation. So especially this aerial stem modification occurs in case of the phylloclad. Okay, so phyllos means leaf, clado means stem. This kind of modification of the stem commonly observed among the xerophytic plant. So usually what happens here, the stem is green flattened. So best example is a opentia. What happens, stem is fleshy succulent, and here the leaves is reduces and modified into a spine. Here stem is look like a leaves is reduces to spines. So this type of modification to overcome the desiccation or the drought condition. So example is opentia. Next one is a cladode. So here cladode means they consist of the claw-like structures. The leaves are reduces to form a spines-like structure. Example, Ruscus asparagus. Next one is stem tendrils. Here the stem is modified into a tendrilar structure for the mechanical support. The example is Passiflora vitis. They will have what happens, the stem is modified into a tendrilar structures. In some plant the stem is modified into a thorn like structure. In case of the duranta, that may be axillary or terminal bud will be modified into a stem thorns. Example, duranta, lemon plant. So these consist of stem thorns and bulbils. So here the stem is modified into a axillary bud like structure, that is a floral bud or the axillary bud. Example, in Dioscorea, in agave, the stem is modified into a bulbil. This will help for the vegetative propagation structure. And there are stem is modified into three types: underground stem modification, subaerial stem modification, aerial stem modification. So usually underground is mainly meant for the food storage purpose, subaerial is mainly meant for the vegetative reproduction, and the aerial is mainly meant for the mechanical support or to overcome the desiccation or the xerophytic conditions. So like that, this is the morphology of the stem or the shoot morphology. So I hope you'll get the concept of shoot modification or the stem modification. So in the next video we'll continue with the leaf modification or the leaf structure.